here with you all today. So Jess is my coach, and let me just tell you how I met her. Okay. I met Jess the way most people, and the way we meet most of the people who end up being our coaches, which is while getting a Brazilian. So Jess has literally seen all of my parts, and so I feel like if you can get past that and start a relationship, then where is there not to go? And so when I met Jess, and I'll just let you look at me, like I'm not like the crazy super fit person. I'm not the skinniest I've ever been in my life. But when I met Jess, I was 185 pounds and really struggling to get my shit together. And I've always been into healthy eating and exercise, so that was nothing new for me, but there was something about the connection with her, and maybe it was my vagina in the air, but there was something about that connection that made me feel like I could listen to her and trust her, and we just became friends.
But you don't see me anymore.
No, I go elsewhere for my wax now. I feel like once you like talk on the phone with someone, you just it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
She knows
It was a one and done kind of relationship.
So my life has been pretty untraditional, I think, compared to when I talk to people, a lot of things that they've done. If I dialed back the clock to about 2009 or so, I was married to not this wonderful man over here, and just living a pretty mediocre life. I lived in Oregon. I was a lactation consultant, which I still am, and just spent my days working with moms and families, supporting them in their breastfeeding journeys. And when I went to work every day, I was so happy. I felt thankful to be there. I felt like I was really making a difference in people's lives. I was also a distance runner and completed 5Ks, half marathons, and my final running journey was I did, you guys may have heard of Ragnar. This isn't Ragnar, it's in Oregon. It's called the Hood to Coast, and it's a 200-mile relay from the top of Mount Hood to the end of the Oregon coast. And I had the second leg from the top of Mount Hood. And if any of you guys are runners, you know like running downhill is really awesome because you're like super fast. And I didn't train appropriately. And when I did my first downhill leg, which was 7.33 miles, and I'm usually about a 10-minute mile girl, I ran those in about an 8:12. And I blew out my knees. And that was kind of the end of my running career. It was super fun, like it was amazing, but I was never able to run, and running was really what kept me fit and kept me from not killing people. And this was when my kids were not even close to puberty, so, and I still drank wine back then. So, fast forward a couple years, my marriage started falling apart, and I just felt like I needed a change. So I had an opportunity to move to Arizona and run the breastfeeding program for the Department of Health. So I just kind of packed up my family, my unhappy husband, and moved to Arizona because, you know, there's some of you, when you get into coaching, you spend a lot of time thinking about it. We talk to people a lot. Sometimes it takes months for people to really jump on board and think, okay, I'm ready to take this plunge. I'm not that person. Like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I just sort of take lots of chances in my life. So I moved to Arizona, and I loved living there. It was totally fine, but I really needed to get out of that marriage for good. And I got a job opportunity here in New York, which is where I'm from originally. So I took my kids and we drove cross country, and here I am, and I started managing a public health program. And the reason I mention that to you is you see me up here, like I like to talk to people. That's kind of who I am. And I sat at a desk and that's what I've been doing for 3 years, is sitting behind a desk and I move columns in Excel. And I do manage a staff of 25 people, but they're 25 people that live remotely around the US and they work part-time and they don't need me on a regular basis. So I had a large professional void in my life. Spending so many years in the hospital working with women, getting that feedback, being part of people's lives, I missed that. And I didn't even know how much I missed it until I met Jessica. And so fast forward, here we are. I'm sitting in my desk job. I've gained 50 pounds over the last 4 years out of, you know, if there's anybody in this room who's divorced, like, that's a great way to gain weight. So I highly recommend it if you're looking to put on a few pounds. And not because I was even sad to leave him. I would just like to say it's just because change is sometimes painful, and we don't always have the best coping skills. And when you go through large challenges in your life, you sort of learn what your emotional deficits are and how you cope with things. And I'm a food coper and I'm a booze coper. And if you drink a lot of booze, then you eat more food. So it's kind of a, you know, sort of twisted cycle, and that's the cycle that I was in. So I went from, you know, being 135 pounds in the best shape of my life to being 185 pounds and canceling a party. So when I met Jess, I was about a month until I turned 40. And we had planned a big party here in Albany for the people that I had met. And I looked at a picture. So the week before, John had thrown me a surprise party in Brooklyn with my family. And somebody sent me a picture of myself from the party, and I almost died because pictures don't lie. And that Spanx that I was wearing underneath my jeans didn't do enough to hide what the truth was. And the truth was that I had really let myself go. And is it just about weight? No, of course it's not about weight. The weight is just a product of the unhappiness and the lack of control that people have in their lives. And I've had, and maybe you all have had this too, when I'm talking to different people about the programs and what we do, sometimes I'll get a little bit of feminist backlash, like that I'm somehow promoting being abnormally thin and thin as the only virtue. I'm not abnormally thin. I'm just a regular person, and my goal is singular, and that is to help people live their best lives, because we only have one life, and you got to make it the best one that you possibly have. So, and that's what my business is about. My business is not about helping people get skinny. It's about helping people find whatever that is about them that makes them feel amazing. And people that follow me on Facebook know, you know, do I post recipes? Yes, I have a blog. I love to cook. Cooking is absolutely who I am. But most of what I talk about is dialing into your truth, finding out what that is, and making your life about that. And now I just got completely sidetracked by your applause. So I appreciate it. So anyway, so I canceled this birthday party because I feel like shit, and I do this 21-day fix craziness with Jessica, and it totally changed my whole life. And you know what else it really changed? Not just my life, but my relationship with food. And boy, that's really powerful when you have an unhealthy relationship with food. I now know that I can work out and I can eat healthy, and I can also do other things and go out for Vietnamese food, which is one of my favorite things to do. And that big meal that I had doesn't mean that big meal has to happen again tomorrow, and we don't have to keep self-sabotaging ourselves. We can have enjoyment and respect and worship and honor our bodies by being healthy the next day, because life is about balance. You have to be able to get up in the morning and work out and feel great, and you have to be able to have a treat sometimes. For me, my treat is usually vodka, and that's fine. You have to do that sometimes because that's called balance. We all just have to live. And so I became Jess's first diamond coach, and I'm really proud of that. We worked hard together. I've now had 13 straight months of Success Club 10. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And I'll tell you just one more thing, because I talk too much, I know. I feel like my husband might be giving me the eye to shut up. So last time when we were here 3 months ago, somebody approached Jess and I don't remember who it was, but one of their concerns was find a Success Club partner that mirrors what your life kind of looks like. Well, let me just tell you, this girl over here is my Success Club partner. Our lives could not be any different. She's 26, she works 2 days a week, she's single, she has no pets.
Well, I'm not single.
She has a boyfriend, but she's not married.
Yes, he does.
He's not allowed in her house more than 2 days a week. So. It's actually true. Her relationship is different.
That's him.
You know, I'm now remarried. I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. They're both girls. They take up a lot of my time. I work full-time in a stressful job, and I just make it work however the best I can. And I learned not to hold myself up to anybody else because it's just my story and my journey of coaching. And I was talking to, I think, Teresa this morning about the coaches we follow. I unfollowed every single coach on Facebook because it's chatter for me. And it makes me feel like there's somebody else I should be, and I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be the best version of who I am. And does that mean that I'm going to be a 5-star diamond this year? Probably not. And that's okay. But you know what? I made $10,000 last year working Beachbody, and I'm pretty freaking proud of that. And I did all that while working full-time. And maybe this year it'll be $20,000. Maybe 2 years from now it'll be $50,000. I have no idea. I'm not in it for the money. That's just, to me, an added benefit of being able to live the life that I'm supposed to live. So, thank you.